All right. Hello, 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 world. I am a little unsure about what I am doing this evening, this Monday night. I'm trying something new. So, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Beth. I am a professional photographer and a confidence coach. I help Christian men and women heal and redefine their identities after trauma or heartbreak so that they can be free from their pasts and from shame and flourish in their lives as God intended, as royalty. And I am trying this new StreamYarding tool. I'm also a teacher. I had a former student tell me that I can go live on multiple platforms at once through StreamYard. So I'm trying it out this evening to see how I like it, how it goes. And then I will see what happens from here on out and what I will do next week on Monday evenings. For those of you who are not aware, I usually jump on live in my Facebook group and sometimes on Instagram at 8:30 to do a journey reflection, Monday motivational. Just basically me thinking about my own healing journey and my own healing process and sharing some insights to help others on their journeys. We all have unique journeys. And so I know at the beginning of mine, I was looking for information and I could not always find what I needed. So hopefully I will, be able to support people in what they need in my own way from my experiences. So I wanted to begin tonight. I'm going to be talking about a couple of things. I'm going to be chatting about control versus authority. But before I get into that, I wanted to share about my upcoming forgiveness challenge that I am going to be hosting for the month of February. February has Valentine's Day, which happens to be my favorite holiday. I love hearts. I love, the idea of love and people supporting each other and, being patient with one another, kindness, giving gifts. And so in this month of February, I thought it would be great if I could help people with forgiveness. So love is very difficult to find and to experience when we have unforgiveness in our hearts. It's either because we are not forgiving ourselves for something that we have done to other people or not forgiving other people for what they have done to us. But either way, it can make it very difficult in our personal relationships. So as a result, I thought that February would be the perfect time to help people heal and begin their healing process through forgiveness so that they can, go on and have not just only romantic relationships, but professional relationships, personal relationship with friends and families, so that, they can be more free and open and enjoy their relationships better. So the challenge is going to be 20 days. It will be something that if you sign up for it, you will be getting an email every weekday with a journal prompt. It's a journaling challenge, and it's going to have multiple things that it's going to include. There will be both spiritual, because it is from a Christian perspective, as well as emotional and physical healing. So it's going to involve multiple levels of work, but it will be a journal activity that's not designed to be too time consuming. It's designed to be about 20 minutes a day. It will just be sent to you on the weekdays, Monday through Fridays, and then you'll have the weekend to, relax, enjoy yourselves, maybe reflect on that week's journal entries. And also every Tuesday evening for the month of February, I'm going to do live Zoom chats for those who are part of the challenge to give people support and to just hear, whatever they've had experienced during that week's journal challenge. So a couple things that you could look forward to if you sign up for the challenge is you're going to be able to learn how to begin taking back your power, even in your pain. You're going to be learning more about yourself. You're going to be learning more about God and learning more about how to trust him, being more comfortable trusting him, because sometimes we are angry at God in our forgiveness journey, and that is normal, but it can block us from even a relationship with God. So experiencing emotional breakthroughs so that you can both give love to other people as well as being open to receive it better. This not only is romantic love, but also platonic love, as I was mentioning earlier. Choosing forgiveness is going to help you also in your professional life. You will be freer from, imposter syndrome, feeling like you have to prove yourself to be good enough, whatever good enough means, right? So you're going to be releasing those needs throughout the 20 days, increasing in self-love, beginning to transform your thought life as well so that you can see yourself and others in a new light or in a new way. And just all of this, a lot of times unforgiveness kind of causes us to have pent-up anxiety because of shame that we felt or embarrassment or the trauma of it all. And so that anxiety can hang out in our bodies. And so there'll be some things that I'll be teaching to help release the anxiety. So you can begin doing that too. So if anyone is interested, of course, in the comments below these videos, you can, let me know that you're interested. You can also email me at levelupwithbeth@gmail.com. And you can just let me know that you saw this video and that you would like to do the challenge and be part of it for the month of February. So again, that's levelupwithbeth@gmail.com. So all that to say, and I feel like this ties in with the forgiveness, I wanted to talk a little bit about the idea of control versus authority. So a lot of times when we are in a place of unforgiveness, we are trying to control things. And holding on to that unforgiveness is our way of trying to control things. It's our way of trying to maintain our authority as a human, or, let the person know who hurt us, who's boss. It's us, not them. But there is actually a difference between control and authority. So I looked it up, and this is what I find interesting when I'm also a teacher. So I do think that words and the way words are used is very interesting, and it tells us a lot about maybe things that are healthy or not healthy and how we're going about things, either in our relationships, the way we're treating others, or the way we're allowing others to treat us. So now, control and authority, when you look up their definitions, and specifically actually synonyms, they have a lot of the same words. So I took notes. Control and authority synonyms are command, dominance, supremacy. Authority also has a synonym of control, and control has a synonym of supervision. Now, the definitions are very similar too. It's basically, for control, power to influence or direct people's behavior in the course of events, versus authority, which is the power or right to give orders, make decisions, and enforce in obedience. However, this is the key difference between control and authority. Control is listed in the dictionary as mostly being used as a verb. That means it's an action. So when someone is controlling us, their actions are to dominate us. They are trying to command us. They're trying to show supremacy, or vice versa. If we're trying to control a situation, right? Say we've been hurt by someone, we may be trying to supervise how they behave towards us in the future. That is why a lot of times when we have a fight with someone who really hurt us in the past, we may bring up the past. Oh, well, you just did it again. You did this last week. You did this last month. You did this 10 years ago. Because we are trying to control the situation. Control, when we are trying to maintain it in our lives, ends up allowing for us to become violent in our confrontations, right? A lot of times trying to control someone or a situation, we're exhausted because it's a struggle. It's a power struggle, right? You've heard that word probably even of someone who's on a power trip, right? So you're tripping all over the place, you're struggling, you're fighting. It's exhausting and it's violent. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean physically violent, although it could be in certain types of situations. For example, in my case, the trauma that I was overcoming was rape. That was a violent situation. But as really in my healing, what I realized was this person's life was so out of control. They couldn't control me. And as a result, there was this power struggle. There were these actions that he took to have supremacy or dominance over me. So, but it's exhausting. Now, authority, on the other hand, that's a noun. So that is not going to be so action oriented. A noun is a person, place, or a thing. Okay. So authority, being that it's a noun, it's giving someone power, or it gives someone the right to, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that person is going to be in a power struggle. So, for example, if I have authority over my physical health, right? I am taking control of the foods I eat. I'm taking control of my exercise habits. I'm taking control of my sleep schedule. I'm taking control of my water intake, but there's not really a power struggle. I am just simply doing things like choosing what I eat, choosing when to go to bed, setting boundaries for what my exercise habits are going to be. This is going to, it's a thing, it's a little bit more passive. I have the right to choose what foods I eat, for example. This could go into anything. In fact, even from a Christian perspective, God has authority. He has control over the whole universe. However, he's not forcing his will on any of us. We all have choices. So while sometimes we may feel like we're in a power struggle with God, if we're angry at him, he's allowing us to make the choices, even though he has the authority for the order of the universe and everything in it. It doesn't mean that it's, this power struggle. So the control is influence over, and authority is like the right to, or you have the power, but you're not really necessarily abusing it. Now, someone who is a narcissist, or someone who's like a, tyrannical leader, totalitarian, dictatorships and stuff, those people take control by being fake authority figures, pretty much, right? But the authority and the control, there is a difference, because like I said earlier, the control is a verb. It's action oriented. It's going to, when we're taking action, we're trying to force things. We might be trying to force someone to apologize to us when they hurt us, versus authority. We would like that person to ask us for our forgiveness if they hurt us, but we're not trying to control the situation. We're giving that person, we may set boundaries for what we allow them to do in and of how much they have access to our life, how much in and out they can go in and out of our lives or whatever. But it's a noun, so we still have that power to say, no, you can't go any further with me. Authority does allow for the choice between peace and violence, right? It does not have to go into a violent situation, because really in an authority situation, for example, God, he is in control of his emotions, right? We can be in control of our emotions. We can be very angry at ourselves, but when we take authority in a situation, well, we could be angry with ourselves if we're not in a place of love, but we could be angry with other people. That's what I meant to say. And how we have a choice. We have the power. Maybe we could argue that we have the right to abuse ourselves verbally, or the right to curse someone out, but we have the power. We have, when we take authority over something, to not curse someone out, or to not curse ourselves out when we make a mistake, right? We can choose peace. We can choose alternate ways of solving our problems. So, again, I think I want to bring it back to God, because there is this verse in the Bible. It's a very famous one. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leads me. Okay. So when we think of someone in authority, or when I think of someone in authority, you can also think of them if they are a positive authority, right? If they're in a healthy place themselves, we can think of them as like a guide, right? If we have a mentor in life, or even our parents, if they were good parents to us, those are people who are guides in our lives. Our friends are guides in our lives. In a healthy marriage, the husband is a guide to his wife. The wife can guide her husband and influence, right? So in an authority position, if it's a healthy authority position, where there's choices, there's boundaries, there's allowance for peace and everything, it's a person basically advising us or showing us the way. I made just a couple other notes. A guide is someone who ushers us or escorts us, right? So they're ushering us into like new levels, right? So for example, in the forgiveness challenge, my goal is to help guide people in learning more about forgiveness. What does it mean? Actually, what does it not mean? Because it's sometimes misunderstood. Ushering them and helping escort them into being able to even begin thinking about forgiving someone who hurt them or forgiving themselves, right? A guide gives us identity, right? A guide shows us the way to get to who we are supposed to be, or who we're created to be, our purpose in life, right? We can have mentors and other people of influence who help us guide us in, professional choices, all sorts of things, right? Even in our relationships, like dating or marriage, you could have guides, you could have a counselor, or some spiritual advisor, someone who guides you in your relationship, in your choices. So those are all people who have authority, but they're doing it in a way that is not just trying to dominate and command, but they're using their power and their influence in your life or in someone else's life, in a gentle way, like a gentleman or a gentleman would. All right. So those are my thoughts. I just wanted to give some thoughts about and share my thoughts on control and authority, because it does go into forgiveness, which is going to be something I'm going to be helping people with. Because when we realize that we have authority in situations and that we have power, it gives us a new perspective about ourselves, our situation, even about the other person. It helps bring us up to a higher place, so that we're not just kind of like sitting at the bottom looking up, so to speak, wondering how we're going to dig ourselves out of the hole that we're in. But when we recognize that we have authority and release that need to control, because when we're controlling, we're holding on to things, we're just getting into power struggles, cycles, and different things that can be negative and downward spiraling. So recognizing our authority for who we are, who we were created to be, that we are royal, royalty, we are God's children. That makes us royalty. So all of these things are very empowering and helpful for people who are looking to forgive after a traumatic event, after a heartbreak, or just something else maybe they did to someone. So this is all I wanted to share for this evening. Again, if anyone has any questions or would like to join my upcoming forgiveness challenge, I invite you to email me at levelupwithbeth@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. You can also just in the comments below share your thoughts, how these little insights have maybe helped you in your thinking, in your processing, in your healing journey. And so I wish you all a wonderful week ahead, much success and peace and good health. And until next Monday night, peace.